If you're thinking about buying a condo in Fort Lauderdale, Miami, or even Palm Beach in 2026, the building you pick matters more than people realize before you even set foot in the unit itself. There are a handful of things that actually determine whether a building works for you or it doesn't. And most buyers don't find out about half of them until after they've already fallen in love with the place. So let's go through them one by one. First filter, are you looking for new development or resale? Now, when I say new development, I mean anything that's either pre-construction, meaning that they're selling it before it's even built, or it's recently been finished. Let's say under 5 years old. Anything older than that, I'd call resale. Now, new development, here's the trade-off. You don't have to worry about special assessments or deferred maintenance because everything's brand new. But the floor plates tend to be smaller, you'll have a lot more amenities, and you're probably going to pay more in HOA on a price per square foot basis. In resale, generally you're getting a better location. These buildings got the best lot years ago. They're closer to the water, closer to better spots in town. You can also get in at a better price per square foot. The trick is finding the ones that have already been updated, look contemporary, and don't have any looming assessments hanging over them. The second filter is, what are you actually planning to do with this place? This eliminates a lot of buildings fast. In Fort Lauderdale, for example, a lot of buildings make you wait 1 full year after closing before you're even allowed to lease the unit. And once you are allowed to lease them, they all have different rules. Some allow annual leases, some allow 6-month minimums, and others go as low as 3 months or even 30-day minimums, which are nice because you have the most flexibility without compromising on that daily rental feel. If you are thinking about daily rental or short-term rentals, that narrows things down even much more. Miami has a broader selection of buildings that allow that than we do here in Broward County. Fort Lauderdale, Pompano, there are very few buildings that allow daily rentals, if at all. I actually made a full video breaking down rental restrictions and how to figure out which is the best fit for you. You can check it up here and I'll link it below if that's part of your plan. Now here's the third filter, and this one people forget about until move-in day. Parking. Some buildings let you self-park, others are valet only. Some have covered, assigned parking, others it's first come, first serve. If you've got 2 cars, or if you want guest parking for family visitors, ask about this before you fall in love with the unit, not after. The fourth filter, and this is the one people underestimate the most, HOA fees. A lot of people come in wanting to keep their dues under $1,000 a month, and I'll be straight with you. If you're buying anything 1,000 square feet or larger, that's going to be a challenge, depending on what you're looking for. Generally, you're looking at anywhere from 70 cents to $2.50 per square foot, depending on what the building offers. But if you want great amenities and you're looking at waterfront, generally these have a premium. Just be mindful of that. However, there is an upside though. That HOA fee does include generally water, sewer, trash, which is an expense you'd be paying separately if you owned a house. And it also includes insurance for the structure itself, the wind and flood coverage for the building, which is usually the most expensive piece. As an owner, you will still need your own policy if you're financing, which is an HO6 or personal contents insurance. But for a 1,500 square foot unit or anything around there, you could budget around $1,200 to $2,000 a year, depending on the coverage. Quick aside while we're on this, pets. Some buildings welcome them, most have size or breed restrictions, and some don't allow them at all. If you've got a dog or a pet, ask early, don't find this out 3 showings in. Of course, service animals are excluded from this, but just putting it out there. One more thing before you start touring. If you're working with an agent, you're going to sign either a buyer's agency agreement or a showing agreement. This is a newer law and it's standard across the country now, so don't be surprised when they mention it. And if you're planning on going straight to the listing agent thinking you'll save money, in reality, you might actually not be doing that. Either way, just make sure you're working with someone who really understands buildings, whoever that ends up being. Your fifth filter, and this is a big one, your building's financial and structural health. Ask, does the building have reserves and are they funded? Has it completed its structural integrity reserve study? And if it's older than 25 years and it's 3 miles from the coastline, has it passed its milestone inspection? If you don't know why this matters, I made a video on the laws that came out of the Surfside tragedy a few years back. These laws basically force buildings to get their finances and structure in order so something like that never happens again. I'll link that in the description below as well so you can reference it later. By the way, I'm Juan Iarussi with Compass. I've lived in South Florida for over 26 years between Miami and Fort Lauderdale, and I'm a local realtor specializing in condos, new development, and waterfront properties here. I've also put together a free buyer's guide and a seller's guide. Depending on your situation, you'll find those in the resource section in the description below. And in the next video of this series, I'll walk you through what actually happens once you find a place. The offer, the contract, the inspection period, all of it. If at any point I can be of any service while you're working through any of this, please feel free to reach out. My info is on the screen and in the description below. Sixth filter, and this is unit level, the view and the exposure. Layout is important, and you could always update the interior down the road, but the view, you generally can't. If your view is unobstructed, ask if it can change. Can something get built that blocks it later? If it can, factor that into your offer before you submit it. Quick rule of thumb on direction. If you're facing the ocean, you're on the east side of the building. The southeast corner is generally the most prized because it has the best views, good sun exposure, especially in the winter, without being overbearing. The southwest corner gets the most total sun, great sunset views, but it runs warmer, especially in the summer, and floor-to-ceiling windows open the view, but let more of that heat in. All right, now let's talk about the north-facing units. These are generally better priced than the south-facing units. And the reason is the northeast corner does get less sun. So it's the coolest part of the building. It's great in the summer, but if you're only here in the wintertime, you might miss that sunlight. The southwest corner does get great sunset views, but you might be missing out on the ocean if you're on the ocean front. So it all depends on how the building is positioned, what your view is, but in general senses, this is what you can expect. Of course, if you're in the southeast corner, which is the premium line of the building, but there's a building that's gonna go up and block your view, or there's already a building that's obstructing the view, the northeast corner is going to reflect that in the pricing. But in general terms, just keep this in mind. And it's not that one's better than the other, it's just whatever fits within your budget. Another big thing that people look for down here is floor-to-ceiling glass windows. Don't overlook storm protection, especially impact glass. It does two things. It protects you and it isolates noise. Even if you're in the downtown area, it does a great job of reducing noise pollution. Most people don't think about that. It is something expensive to change, so if you already have it, it's great. Most buildings either have already installed them or are switching to them as they go through their 30 or 40-year RES certification. And if you're buying something newer than 10 years old or that was built after the 2000s, you can usually avoid worrying about this altogether. Truly hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments section. And if you'd like to discuss your particular scenario, reach out. My info is on the screen and you can book a time on my calendar for a complimentary 15-minute consultation to best advise you on your path. The link is in the description below. Until next time, stay sharp, stay informed, stay ready, and I'll see you on the next one.